Hi folks, Jeeper Al here. I'd like to do a little video here about Currie. I have a pair of their high pinion 9 inches underneath my 195 YJ. I'd like to do a little video here just showing you what they look like on my rig and kind of some of the options you have through Currie. When you nice thing when you buy axles front and rear, you get a choice of your axle, your gear ratios, your lockers, the width of your axles, so you can avoid any tire rub on your leaf springs. Leaf springs are of course on a YJ. You probably wouldn't have as much of a problem on a TJ, but you can still widen them out a little bit further, make your Jeep a little more stable, eliminate any wheel spacers you might have. With this particular one, I went ahead and went with air lockers front and rear. Places where I go elk hunting, it's kind of nice to be able to actually use the air lockers and get yourself out of trouble, or maybe sometimes get yourself in more trouble. But there's some other options that Currie gives you too. There's some little skid plates on the differentials you can have welded on. You can go with bigger spline axles, but I stuck with a straight 6, so I didn't need necessarily bigger spline axle shaft. So I went ahead and just went with the regular 31 spline axles, and it works just fine. So anyway, that's basically what we did here. I went with a 4.5 inch Rubicon Express lift kit. I got a 1 inch body lift. 33s fit great. It's easy for me to get in and out of the Jeep. I got no tire rub at all whatsoever. Standard axle width for a YJ is 60 inch. I went ahead and went with 63 on this particular one, and like I said, I have no tire rub whatsoever. So I'll go ahead and turn the video on so we can get you some pictures of it in there. Another thing you also eliminate is you'll eliminate any what was I going to say now? Kind of brain farted there. But you eliminate any driveline angle problems. So if you added any drive lines that were a little low and you had to go with a double joint, wipes that crap out. So with the high pinion, I mean, that stuff is taken care of. So let's get on with the video. So when you go with air lockers, you get a little compressor, and then you got to figure out where you're going to put it. For me, I just put it here on the fender. Works really good. I had to make some little spacers though, so it would sit level, but that was pretty easy to do. Didn't take long to mount it up. Then you run your air hoses down and in, and they come into the top of your differential there. So there's a high pinion under there. When you go wider though, you have to go ahead and make your steering arms longer. So we had to add 3 inches to each one of those. So we put a piece of pipe in there and welded it at both ends and extended that out. Another thing Currie does is they put this nice little plate right here to give your lower ball joint some extra support. It's kind of a nice thing they did. They didn't even ask for that, but they went ahead and did it anyways, standard. And as you go over here, you see that skid plate welded underneath the differential there. Now you can hit rocks or whatever. Just slides right off. With Rubicon Express, you get these skid plates that you can order extra, and then you can slide over rocks, don't catch on your U-bolts. Works really good that way too. Stainless steel lines. Got a Currie steering brace. So works out pretty nice. Okay, go back here to the back. Show you the back. Now there's where you can really see the welded cover. And that's of course done on the front as well. Had a weld little tab there for the brake line. But this lift kit and everything's been on here for about 7 years. So not too bad of a setup. We're running about 40,000 miles. still works really good. Like I said, really eliminates any driveline angle problems you might have had. See, makes a real nice straight shot out the top. Of course, we don't have no drive lines under here yet because I got the transmission transfer case out. Because we're going to do a... What happened was my clutch went out. So, and we got 135,000 miles on the Jeep. So we're going to eliminate that transfer case. Put a JB conversion heavy duty kit in. One of those. And we'll show us do another video showing us putting that in along with the new clutch, and we'll get that all mounted up at a later date. With the ARB kit you also get the switches, so you get the compressor switch, the rear diff switch, and the front diff switch. Of course, when you do these, it'll only allow you to kick in the rear first and then the front. You can't kick in the front without kicking in the rear first. So that's kind of, you know, it's not really a big deal, but it definitely lets you know if you hit the wrong switch, because it doesn't work. And if you do ever do you know, long-term stuff where you're it's going to be a while before you get back to doing your project, put bolts and stuff in bags, mark them. Makes it a lot easier for later on when you come back trying to figure out what went where. Alright, just a few pointers and tips there. Currie, great company to work with, but man, the prices sure add up. You know, you start out with the basic kit and the extra stuff you get to order, and then you get down there to the final price. Boy, that's about what you're looking at there per end. You know, it's kind of spendy. That was just one. Here's the other one. But like I said, in this you can specify your bolt pattern. Again, you get up here to your width, overall width. You get up here to your spline count, your gear ratio, all this kind of nice stuff. And then you get into your extras and your gear oil and all that stuff. Here's some of the gear oil. I'll show you. Excuse me. Here's what Currie gives you, this 9-inch plus racing oil that you're supposed to put in. That keeps everything lubed up. So anyway, that shows you what everything is and basically what everything costs. And it's a pretty good chunk of change, but man, I believe it's well worth it. And that comes with the compressor and everything, so you're all ready to go. Alright, for now, we're out.